I hate hearing myself talk. I can't even listen to the shows. I'm like, oh, I just cringe. Well, thank you, Jodie, for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
I have to admit, I have a little bit of a girl crush on Jodie.
Ooh.
I don't swing that way. Never have. Never will. Sue could testify to that. But if I was a man, I would go after Jodie. She's hot. She's hot. She's got smarts. She's the whole package. Just thought I'd have to throw that in there.
Okay. Thank you for that advertisement. I like it. Bring it on. Well, thanks for inviting me to come on the show. Excited to be here. Anytime.
I know I haven't had the opportunity to listen to you. You also do Ghost Chat Radio with Jason Stanton, and I haven't had the opportunity to listen to you guys yet. But he thinks you're awesome, and I said, "You sure it's not how cute she is?" And he's like, "No, she's a great fit. She does awesome." So I wanted to talk about, because, I want to hear about what you do first. You have
what don't I do?
I know. I'm just like I thought in my years, dabbled in, a bunch of different things. Like, what haven't I done? But I think you got me topped.
Well, I'm a very, very type A personality, and when I decide that I want to learn about something, Dawn, I don't know if you're like this, but I fixate on it. And once I have fixated on something or someone, sometimes as well, I can't get enough. I have to know everything about it. And so, I will research or take a class or, read as many books until I sort of get that thing out of my system, And, this all started when I was a child. By the time I was in grade school and, middle school especially, I was reading any kind of books that I could get my hands on that were about esoteric topics, or New Age books, or even occult books, witchcraft, all of it. And, of course, I went to 12 years of private Catholic school where really that was not allowed.
6 years here, baby, 6 years.
Not all. Well, that's what it is. We've got that in common. And devout Catholic, but my family, we're New Orleans Catholics, and New Orleans Catholics.
You've got that mix. All cultures. Yeah.
We're a little different. We believe in everything. Angels, spirits, saints, and voodoo, and you name it, we believe in it. Although the Catholic Church would definitely not endorse it. And I actually had my first paranormal experience as a very small child, and I didn't know I was any different than anyone else. I thought everyone was like that, but my paternal grandfather had actually come and visited me. I was sleeping in bed. We had bunk beds, and my sister always slept on the bottom, and I always slept on the top. And I remember very vividly that he was tickling me, and I was laughing. And he lived out in Kansas. So,
wow.
Yeah. And so the next day, I went out and asked my parents, where's Grandpa? And they just looked at each other. And my father was his only child, and I are his only grandchildren.
Ooh.
He had passed away that night. And I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea. I didn't know death. I didn't understand about that at all. And they didn't really explain it to us either. But, within a week we had left town to go out to the funeral in Kansas. And, of course, now I understand it. But that was the very first time, the first experience that I had. And so, I've continued to have all kinds of crazy experiences throughout my life. But I I do a little bit of everything. I'm a Reiki master, so I do Reiki healing. I also do chakra balancing and clearing, really heavily into that. I have several sets of tuning forks. I don't know if you're familiar with those or not, but they emit different sound frequencies to sort of balance your energy level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I actually had that done once.
You did? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, so then you know. So it's sound therapy, but how did you feel after you had it done?
I can't describe. I just felt like a definite shift of energy. I can't describe it any other way. It's like he went, up and it's this like convention, and he went up and down, the like outline of my body, and I just felt like a shift, and I can't describe it any other way.
Right, and you will feel that, and another thing about energy work is, and hypnotherapy, which we're going to talk about today as well, you want to be careful, and I mean really careful, about who works on you regarding any sort of Reiki healing or any other sort of holistic healing techniques or energy shifting or balancing, DNA clearing, NLP, any of that stuff, tapping, all of it. Because you want to make sure that it's a person that you feel good about or that you trust, even if you don't really know them. You know what I mean. You've got that inner voice. You have to feel good about it, or don't let them touch you. Like if you really wanted somebody else in whatever location you went to work on you, and they're trying to force a different person on you because that person it's their turn or whatever, don't just go with that ever. Because I do know people that have had some negative experiences where they did not feel well.
I had, I'll call it a fine-tuning, the tuning thing years ago, and I felt horrible after. I wouldn't say horrible sick, but I was very, very irritated.
Oh.
Like, in a very irritable mood, which, with me is not uncommon, but I just felt excessively irritated. And I remember thinking, why the hell did I do this, And it just lasted a few hours, but unsettling, I guess, is how I felt.
Yeah. And it could be that they released some sort of chi or energy that was buried down deep, and they didn't completely release everything from you, and that was sort of maybe lingering around, and that's not a good thing. It's sort of an unfinished type of a feeling, and not to say that people don't sometimes need multiple sessions, because they do. I mean, they definitely do. With any sort of healing, it's not always finished after one session. More about me, I read all kinds of tarot cards, psi cards, one of my favorites, oracle cards. And I also am a stone reader, which is something I've also been doing since I was a kid. I actually read stones by vibration. So I just, all kinds of things. In addition to that, I am a career makeup artist and cosmetics trainer. I've worked for all of the biggest companies, traveled all over the country. I've trained thousands of makeup artists everywhere. So I think that pretty much covers it, and I'm a mom besides.
Yeah, it's just that's no big deal,
And I still haven't figured men out, so there's that.
Oh,
yeah, ours are adults, and I still haven't figured it out yet. So yeah,
I'm pretty much close to just giving up on that whole.
Oh dear.
Well, I think when they get in their late 20s, they start realizing that maybe you kind of know what you're talking about. So
maybe
hang in there.
That's a whole different. That might be a whole different. Oh, girl, I've been married twice. That might be a whole different show. Trying to figure that shit out. I don't know. Oh dear.
Once is good for me. It's one time took me long enough to get there, and one time is good. I think that.
But hell no.
I'm not doing
Not
that
again. I'm just kidding.
I just don't need to do it again. I would love to, be in a really secure, long-term. I like commitment a lot, But I don't really need to be married again. I'm not going to have any more children. If they have some, great. But you know what I mean. So I just think it might be better not to at this point. At this point in my life. So, Dawn, I know that you were watching that new television show last week.
Yes, I'm absolutely obsessed. I have been. What is the name of it? It's a brand new one. I think I want to say it's on the Lifetime channel.
It is. It's on Lifetime.
And they had, like, the one show I saw, they had two different, just regular people, and they hypnotized them. Each one of them had kind of an issue in their life.
Right.
And they went to this hypnotherapist, and he hypnotized them and brought them back to see if they had a past life, which could be affecting their life now, which could be causing the anxiety. And, oh, my God, it was so interesting. Both of them, the issues they had in their past life were definite triggers of what is, their anxiety is now in this life.
Yeah. And it's called Who Was I? My past life.
Who Was I? Thank you.
I just pulled it up on my TiVo because I couldn't stand it. I can't stand it when I can't remember either. And that's so true. Anytime, let's face it, if we're going for some sort of therapy, there's a reason. Whether it's
absolutely
psychotherapy or general, spiritual counseling or, any of it, we're trying to definitely fix something that's going on in our life. Otherwise we wouldn't be seeking out someone else's help if we thought we could do it alone. So the thing about hypnotherapy is that it's sort of like, if you want to think of it like stereo speakers, it's like your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are out of sync. Does that make sense? And so,
now, if there, I have a question. Now, I read this somewhere, and then I've recently, investigated this, read the complete opposite. So you might know better. It said that people that tend to be psychic, empathic, whatever word you want to put on there, which I am, are extremely hard to be hypnotized. Well, what's your thought on that?
Well, this is the thing. I'm majorly psychic, and I'm also an empath. I'm a medium as well. And honestly, when I first went to take a course, and I'll tell you how I got interested in it in a minute, but when I decided to finally take a course, and the guy, he's a doctor, Larry McDaniels is his name, out of Georgia, and he was asking for a volunteer from our class who would let him do a past life regression. Honestly, I swear to you, I never thought that was going to work on me, ever in a zillion years. In fact, one time at a comedy club, I even got up on stage, when they're asking for volunteers years ago. Didn't work on me. And so, of course, I was one of the people that they had go and sit down. I fully did not expect it to work, but it did. It worked really well. By the time I got to the end of my first past life regression, and he actually took me through 2 different lives, I cried. And, in front of everybody, which is always totally embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so shocked. And this is the thing. First of all, and this is true, not everyone can be hypnotized. Not everyone can. Now, not everyone can be hypnotized at the first session either, but that doesn't mean that they can't be hypnotized. So, sometimes it takes a couple of sessions for somebody to sort of really relax because they're nervous, and open up. And the first thing is that you have to be really open to it. It's just like when, and I know this and you know this as well. Do you ever go in, I worked at a few different New Age shops, and so random people would come in all the time for readings. And you ever have somebody come in and they're like, yeah, I want a reading, and they're with a friend of theirs, and they pay their money, and you take them in the other room, sit down with them, and just their whole body language is all wrong, and you can just feel that they're not really open to it, but they're saying they want a reading.
Right.
Does that happen to you?
I've had it happen. I've had some people, I get absolutely no energy off of whatsoever.
God, I hate that.
And, yeah. Not a lot, but well, I would say it was fairly common. At least 2 out of every 10 people, really.
Well, wow, that's a lot, and to me that's a lot. When that happens, when I would have somebody, and still when I get somebody who acts like that at a psychic fair or whatever, the first thing that I like to do with them, and this is why when you go into maybe have a hypnotherapy session, most of the time they'll ask you to go ahead and lie down. Now, you can do hypnotherapy sitting up. I can definitely do it with you in a chair. It's not a problem. But lying down is the best because you get people to relax that way. It changes their entire mental state because, we're taught we're going to go to sleep when we lie down. So sort of, subconsciously, it puts you in a better position to want to relax and to be more open. So when I get somebody like that for a psychic reading, I always look at how are they sitting, what are they doing. Like if they're kind of leaning away from me or they got their legs crossed or their arms crossed, the first thing that I'll do is have them go ahead and put their feet flat on the floor, and I'll have them go ahead and uncross their arms and actually lie their arms out on the table with their palms open and facing up, okay? Because it physically opens up all of your chakra centers. It opens up your whole body, and it makes you more receptive. It makes it easier as a psychic for you to get their energy, to feel it better. So try that.
I've actually had phone readings where that's how I was sitting. And they're like, you're sitting with your arms crossed or your legs crossed, aren't you? And I said, yeah. And they said, you just need to, do this and relax. And they could tell.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the phone.
You can tell. It's harder on the phone, too. I worked for California for a few years, and it is harder on the phone. And, in person, you can actually, I will even lean in and at that point, and I will hold their hand, whether it's a man or a woman or whatever, because it makes it so easy for me. If I can touch you, because I'm a person who reads vibration, it makes it easy. So, all right, so back to hypnotherapy. It's the same kind of, premise. You want them to be really, really open to it, because it makes it easier to sort of, get into their brain. I mean,
I think your stomach is I personally find I don't like anyone or anything touching anywhere near my stomach, and I find that, for instance, if you do lay down or you're in a prone position like that, your stomach is more exposed, so to speak. I feel so vulnerable.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Absolutely.
So you could sit up, and then we would just have you go ahead and put your feet flat on the floor and just very gently rest your arms in your lap, sort of, but without clasping your fingers, sort of like how you would do if you were just going to do a meditation at home. And so, the more relaxed your body is, deeper that we can try to go in with hypnosis, the more you have to go really, really deep when you do past life regression.
Or that's what, I'm obsessed. I have to find and follow through with this because, I know that I've several issues in my life. I know there's no reasonable explanation for me to have them whatsoever.
Okay. Well, and that's definitely going to be your subconscious, blocking things. Your subconscious mind will definitely always try to block things that are painful or difficult if you've had past lives, and most of us have had multiple past lives, and that's why that happens. But this is the truth about hypnosis. All hypnosis really is self-hypnosis. It really is. It really is, and that's why you have to be open to it, because truthfully, no matter who you're working with, that person is more of a guide. The hypnotherapist is really more of a guide than anything else. Really, when you get down to it, everybody really hypnotizes themselves. the hypnotherapist can guide you into a deep state of hypnosis, and, you know, we can show you how to stay there while the work is being done. But if there's any reason at all that you're apprehensive, or if deep down you feel like you don't want to be in hypnosis for any reason, even the slightest thought by you about that, it can be over and you can just easily come back to your sort of normal state of awareness. I mean, we can't force suggestions into your mind, and that's something that people need to understand, because people get nervous and they'll ask you, you know, oh my God, you know, are you gonna implant something in my mind that I don't know about, or are you gonna make me do something I don't want to do? Did my husband tell you to say something to me? You know, people get paranoid about it.
Right.
They do.
It's like you don't know. I mean, am I going to lose control? You know, that's one of the things that I can imagine would be the first question people would have.
And that's a huge misconception. It's huge that hypnotherapists can control you or make you do anything under hypnosis, because it's really not true. It is true that you are much more receptive to suggestion under hypnosis. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if I told you I wanted you to go out and jump off a bridge or go out and rob a bank or, you know, go stab somebody, you would never do that. You know, unless that's what you really wanted to do. You would never do something that's, you know, ethically, you know, against your personal beliefs. It'll never happen. And, you know, it's 100% consent state by you. And, you know, this is the thing, too. Fear is the only thing that keeps a person from going into a deeper state of hypnosis. And the fact is true that the more intelligent a person is, the easier and deeper into hypnosis he's actually capable of going.
Oh, hell, I'll be out in 1 second.
That's not true.
I can let that go.
Well, I have to play devil's advocate with a question here.
Okay.
Because I absolutely do not believe in past lives, and this is the truth. I do not. Okay. I don't believe in it. I don't want to believe in it, and it's just because of I was also brought up Catholic, and it's just against everything that I was brought up to believe. So what if I, you know, were someone suffering from some kind of significant personality issue, and you know, and the immediate, you know, answer was, okay, I'm gonna take you back into hypnosis, and we're gonna see what could have happened in your past life. I mean, is there a different way to approach that with somebody like me who actually does not believe in that? I just don't. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's my personal.
No, absolutely. And I mean, truthfully, God, I would say at least 70%. You know, and this is a statistic I'm making up in my mind. This is not based in fact. I would say that 70%. I'd have to research this. 70% of people, 75% of people who come to you and want to talk about hypnosis and learn about it and who are interested in it, they're not coming for past life regression. The people that are coming for that are people like me, you know, people that are out there, you know, you know, I'm into ghost hunting, you know, I have psychic ability.
Well, here's the thing, I'm into ghost hunting, and I totally against the Catholic brain, you know, it contradicts everything, so it's like, I'm almost like a hypocrite in my own, you know, but at the same time, it's okay, you know.
But all just been funny. I
mean, that's the thing is, you know, I have my spiritual beliefs and my religious beliefs. I do, and I'm sure anyone would think I'm a horrible Catholic, but it doesn't mean I don't believe in God, you know, because I do.
Right.
But do I believe in past life regression? Let me just tell you. All right. First of all, I first became interested in hypnosis back in college. You know, I'm a nail biter. It's chronic. Dawn, you would so die.
I would have to kill you.
You would kill me. It's pretty bad, and I pick cuticles, the whole thing is bad. But for some bizarre reason, when I was like a freshman in college, I started to do hair pulling. Okay, you guys know what hair pulling is?
Yeah,
Okay, it's a horrible, oh my God. It's when you just sort of, you don't even know you're doing it. It's like a nervous habit that all of a sudden, you just like find a piece of hair, you're like playing with it with your fingers, and then you just pull it out. Okay?
Oh my God, I do that.
Totally.
Like seriously, I do.
Terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, that's not something I go around telling people because...
No. You wouldn't. And I was embarrassed. And I was embarrassed. I mean, at the time I was modeling. You know, thank God I wore my hair short. But honestly, there was like a spot on the left side back behind my ear. I swear to you, Sue, I had picked out a bald spot. And I was like, I got to fucking stop this. And I couldn't stop. And even my boyfriend at the time, if he saw me touching my hair, he would slap me and be like, Joe, what are you doing? What are you doing?
We've all got a form of OCD, at least one. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my mom knew I did it, and I don't know how it started. I don't know exactly when it started, but I was completely not conscious of doing it when I was doing it. So I thought, I got to do something about this. I'm going to try to hypnotize myself. And, you know, I bought this book way back then. Who knows what happened to it, but it was How to Hypnotize Yourself, and it came with, of course, a cassette tape, you know, way back in the day. And I listened to it, I studied it, and I ended up going ahead and making myself my own self-hypnosis cassette, and I would put on my headphones, big old-fashioned kind, when I would get in bed at night in college, and I was still living at home with my parents, and I would play this for myself using auto-suggestion that I hoped was going to go to my subconscious mind and make me stop this terrible habit, which was only making me look bad. You know, it was terrible and embarrassing. So anyway, to my surprise, it worked. I haven't done it since that year. I don't do it. I have no urge to do it. Don't want to know about doing it. And it's an embarrassing thing to admit to people, but this is when I become fascinated, you know, about hypnosis. And, you know, past life regression came later, but when I finally had this regression done and the gentleman was asking me questions, I was very surprised. And as soon as I was finished, I tried to write it all down. I have it somewhere in a notebook that's packed already because I'm moving, but I remember vividly him asking me, where are you? And I said, and Dawn, I was so surprised because I wouldn't have believed it. I really wouldn't have. You know, I heard about it, you know, I knew about it, but it had never happened to me. And I saw green. I saw hills and I saw green. And I said, I think and this was like back in the 1800s. And I said, I think I'm in Ireland. I'm in Ireland. And he said, well, okay, well, look around. What else do you see? And I saw a little cottage, and I realized that that was where I lived. And it was way out in the country. It had a lot of, like, stones, you know, sort of stones on the cottage. And there wasn't really any other houses or anything close by. There were some sheep. And he said, well, open the door and go inside. You know, what do you see? And I opened the door, and I went inside, and really strangely, I knew that it was where I lived, and there were quilts, like lots of quilts everywhere. And I said to him, I make quilts. Listen, I don't even know how to sew. I don't own a sewing machine. You know, I'm lucky, you know, I can maybe sew a button back on if it comes off, but anything else, forget about it. It's not going to happen. I'm not, you know, I don't really do crafts or, you know, anything. I don't know how to quilt. And I was so shocked to realize that, and he asked me what else did I know, and I did know my name, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I wrote down my first name, and the relationship with him, although we were not married, he definitely cared about me, and I cared about him. And this is the funny thing. I fucking love red hair. Really? Oh, my God. Any day, girl, it's on. Okay? It's on.
We won't fight over them, the guys, then.
No. That and I like, you know, kind of, you know, I like dark hair, too, but I fucking love a ginger. I really do. If he's got a red goatee, girl, it is on. So on. So, now I know where maybe that comes from. Because nobody else, like high school and college, I never told anybody I liked the guys with red hair because my friends weren't into that. They would have been like, "Oh, really? Yeah."
Right.
And, you know, now I could admit that because, you know, I'm an old broad, nobody cares. But, you know, so yeah. And then he took me forward and he said, you know, okay, let's go forward. You know, how old are you? And I was like 56, and I was dying. And he said, you know, you're leaving this life now. What's happening? And I saw myself, oh my God, I'll get emotional, like laying on the bed, and my daughter was there, and no one else was there, but I was dying. I was very sick, and I definitely was leaving that life at that time. anyway, that's when I just started to cry in front of everybody in the room. I just started bawling. There were tears coming down my face. People were looking at me. I was completely unaware that they were looking at me, at all. But he asked me why. He goes, "You're so upset. Why are you crying?" It was such a good life. I didn't want to leave that life. I was so happy. So isn't that weird? And so, yeah, it was awesome and so strange to me. Like, Dawn, you wouldn't believe how emotional it is and how weird it is when you wake up from that. It's so bizarre, and you're not even really sleeping, but you're sort of in a trance-like state,
Right.
And he took me through another life after that, which, we don't have time. Like, I won't tell you all about that, but it was profound for me. And I also have these dreams that I've had for a very long time. I know that my last life was very short, that I was a young girl in the 1950s, and I came back very soon after that. I died when I was maybe a high school girl or early college, because I vividly see myself at like football games with friends and people that I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened in that life, but I came back, very quickly, and that doesn't always happen either. So it's really interesting, and when I watched the show that Dawn watched, it reminded me so much of that, except that people were watching me because it was in the middle of a class, but it's crazy. It's crazy, and I never did go back and do like research or anything like that, because it was so vivid and so profound that, like, if you can remember it, you're not going to forget it. Like, you know what I mean? The feeling and the whole experience of that. And, I have regressed other people who have found, like what you saw on the show. There was one young man who I regressed, and he was always worried about falling. He was always worried about his leg. He always thought his leg hurt. And when I took him back to regression, he found that in the First World War that he had been shot in that leg several times. And he was so shocked. He was a kid. He was a young guy, like 20. And he was so shocked by that. So very strange, how the subconscious mind works, and how much it affects us when we sort of bring these things up to the surface, and whether they're things that we make up to ourselves and our own mind. I mean, I won't ever know, until I'm dead and see if I'm going on to the next life.
Right.
But it's very profound, and it does change you. It definitely changes the way you feel about your life, and
it has to. I mean, it would just have to, because, if you believe it, that you were actually the other person at one time, or some form of you was the other person, it would almost be, to me, like missing or having sympathy for that person, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
Now, just a long story short, if I was near you, for one thing, I'd be at your house tomorrow and we'd be starting this, because you have no idea of how obsessed I am that I totally need to have this done.
Now, where do you live?
Western Massachusetts. Basically, like 45 minutes. So when you say we're like 45 minutes from the Connecticut border.
Okay.
Yeah, because I go to Connecticut like twice a week, so, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
We'll have to find some kind of event that's happening out that way. Or something.
Is that where you are, JODie, is Connecticut?
No, girl, I'm way the hell down in Lower Alabama.
Oh,
Alabama.
Wow.
In Lower Alabama, if you live down
Yeah, because you sure don't sound, but you said you lived other places,
Oh,
but you
girl.
don't. Two of our doggies are from Alabama. Kills up.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, I'm not from here. I've only lived here for a year. I actually, I'm actually a Southern girl, but I spent most of my life in Fort Lauderdale and Miami. I spent most of my time there.
Okay.
And then I've spent plenty of time out in New York working and all over the country. But any Southernness that comes at all into my voice is probably because I lived in Atlanta for 7 years right before I moved here. But I couldn't even understand them when I moved here. and they thought I had an accent. Okay. People from Miami, we sound West Coast. We sound almost like people from California. It's more of that.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. I was told people are shocked that they said, oh, you don't have a Boston accent, the Massachusetts accent. But I think we're just, far enough away from Boston that I've been told.
Well, it's like an imaginary line where all of a sudden you step over it, you stop pronouncing your R's. It's like, pack the cow, God.
That is that obvious.
And I've been out by you guys. Like, I know that accent. I've been out there for work. I've never been able to come out there and sightsee or do anything fun, not in Connecticut or Massachusetts at all. But I trained all those teams of Bare Essentials, all the Bare Minerals teams. I trained all of those teams when they were opening up the stores and all the malls. I was the person that came out there and worked with them.
I just bought my Bare Minerals little brown spot cover-up cream.
You do? It's a great product.
Well.
It's a great product. I worked for them for a few years as I was their East Coast national trainer, although I went West Coast as well. There were only 2 of us in the country. But I did it until they eliminated my job, and then I had to go to another company. And it happens in cosmetics all the time. That's just how it is. You sort of learn to roll with it. So this is the thing. I also want to say that another huge misconception with hypnosis is that you will, somehow tell me all of your innermost secrets and private thoughts, okay? People worry about that. They really do. You're going to...
almost like a truth serum or something, right?
Almost like a drunk party girl on Saturday night. Just letting it all out. And, that is not going to happen because really... just so that you guys know, you're actually in an increased state of mental alertness. Like your brain is really looking for things. It's working overtime. And so truthfully, you're more in control of anything you choose to do or say while you're hypnotized than you actually are in your normal state of awareness. And a lot of people do not know that. So if you don't want to tell me something, you won't. And actually, even if I wanted to pull information out of you, I would have really a far better chance of getting you to tell me something in your regular state of mind. I'll buying you a few beers. Because truthfully, the way that we go through our day and, we get overwhelmed and, we're actually more in a dull mentality as compared to how we are really in a hypnotized state. And, many people also believe that hypnotized people are unconscious and they don't know what's happening. And this is also...
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought until you started telling me about how you were remembering, things. And did somebody tell you that was all said? Or, but you definitely made it clear that you remembered it while it was happening, which is something I honestly didn't know.
I did.
They make it sound like you go into a deep sleep and they snap their fingers and you come out of it and you're awake and you don't... any TV show that you see makes it look like that,
I know. Well, and you do sort of go into a trance, and I think, once you become more familiar with it, after you've been, when you're working with somebody who's a hypnotherapist and you've gone under a few times, you are more comfortable with it and you're more relaxed. And so then I can take you into a deeper state of relaxation, and you do become less and less aware of what's going on around you. And it's very possible that you're going to forget some of the details. I can't remember the names that I gave, but I did write them down. Now, if somebody had videotaped it, there may be details that I left out that I may have said while under hypnosis about my surroundings. This is 5-6 years ago. So, I want to say 6 years ago. I just don't remember it, anymore. But, so that's why it's almost like a dream diary, like a dream state. When you come out of a dream, you know how it is. You remember that dream so well when you wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. You're right in the middle of it. Right. You're like, oh, shit, that was such a great, and then you, try not to wake up, and you go back to bed after you're done in the bathroom. And I'm telling you, I sometimes try to get back into that dream if it was that good.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And it's true. Isn't that so funny? But no one ever admits that, but it's true. And it's sort of like that. If you wrote it down right then, you would remember. But the next day, 6 hours later, I don't even know what that dream was when I got up to go to the bathroom. I have no freaking idea. And so
comparison.
It's lost. And so people want to think of it that way. I mean, that's really how it is. Like, hypnosis in Greek means a state of sleep. But it's really nothing like that. It's sort of that in between, the subconscious, the sleeping and the waking mind. It really feels a lot like that. It's just sort of bypassing the critical factor of the conscious mind and establishing a more selective way of thinking. And so this is why when we take you into hypnosis and you're open to it and you're so relaxed, that's why it's the right time to sort of suggest, make hypnotic, we like to call it hypnotic suggestion, to try to break, bad habits, smoking, overeating, nail biting. I should have had somebody do that for me, but I never did. All of these things that we do that we want to stop doing. And if you're going to somebody for help with a smoking problem or, with an overeating problem, even, and a lot of people don't think of this, like, think about when you came out of a relationship that you were hurt so much about. Like, we've all had that experience, and you just can't, you can't get over it, though. You can't get over it. I mean, you can't stop thinking about that person and what they did to you, and you don't know why. And some people go into such, and I've been there, such a deep state of depression that you just can't let go, and you can't really even hardly function in your regular life. And, that's and I've been there bad. I've been hurt bad. And, if you go through hypnosis for that, they can help to put, any hypnotherapist, we can help to put more positive suggestion into your subconscious, and we can also try to remind you in your subconscious why you should be glad that that's over, or why that person is no longer good for you, or why you should no longer think of that person, and help to remove it from your conscious mind, so that you don't have to spend every waking minute dwelling on it. And especially as women, God, we can dwell, right? Dwell and dwell on that shit.
I wish I had known about that years ago. Was the worst relationship I ever had. I mean, this guy did a number on me, but goddamn, I was so massively in love with him that, we all have that one that, I mean, depression.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, give me some medication, but if I never thought, or did I know about the hypnosis of trying to kind of, it certainly can't get you out of it, I'm sure, but just to anything to help you come out of that, because I was like,
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. Girl, I've had to get high for weeks and take depression medications. I totally know where you're coming from, where I just could not function. And it's a shame that we let somebody do that to us. Now, this is the thing. I think we have time. We can either do... Now, Dawn, remember when you were watching the show, and this is a common thing, and we all do it, when the hypnotherapist is first working with someone new, we almost always will start by taking them through just a basic relaxation script. And do you remember hearing him where he was like 10, and this is going to happen, and 9, and the muscles in your body are going to relax. And, that's a very basic script that we can go through that everybody uses. We can do that, or we can go through more of a sort of a meditation hypnosis, and we can talk about walking through the forest, like a forest walk. If you want to go ahead and do a little on-the-air hypnosis, we can do that.
Yeah,
or we don't have to.
Yeah,
we don't have to.
Huh?
Are you?
I was just gonna be the innocent, bystander here.
My voice
You're now gonna remove your underwear, Sue.
My voice is so tranquil that Sue has already gone under. And I even brought with you too, like in case you guys weren't familiar too, I even brought like people aren't familiar with tuners. Like I have a set of angel tuners, I have chakra tuners. I mean, I have them. But like here's an angel tuner, and I see Like I'll sometimes start with, some sounds like that to get people into it. But I mean, we have time if you want to do one of them, and if you don't want to, we can just keep talking. It's up to you.
Oh, I'd like to try the relaxation one. That would be cool.
All right, so do you want to do the one that we do, like, all the time when we work with people, or you want to try the one where you're walking through the forest? They're both for relaxation. They're both good.
The first one, yeah.
Okay, the one like you saw on TV? Okay.
Yeah, I live in the forest. I see enough of it.
All right, so, normally what we'll do, you'll come in, and you'll either, you want to sit down, like I said, with your feet, anybody who's listening, flat on the ground if you're in a chair, and you want to have your body be open. You don't want to cross your legs. You want to just gently rest your arms in your lap, or if you're by your couch or by your bed, you can go ahead and lie down however you feel, very comfortable, and you want to, be ready for that. So normally what we'll say is to go ahead and start breathing. So if you're nice and comfortable and you're ready to get started, just take a nice deep breath in like this. You want to exhale that breath, and as you do, close your eyes. Now, just allow yourself to relax more and more, because really the nicest thing about hypnosis is that wonderful feeling of physical and mental relaxation. So you want to feel it now, starting to spread throughout your entire body, because from this moment in time, there's nothing at all that's any more important for you to do except just relax, physically and mentally, more and more. And any normal outside noises will not affect or disturb you in any way. In fact, any normal outside noises will actually help and guide you to feel and to be more and more calm, more and more relaxed. And the only sound you now remain interested in is the sound of my voice. The sound of my voice can help and can guide you to feel and to be more and more calm, more and more relaxed. And in a few moments, I'm going to count down from 10 down to 1. And with each and every number that I count from 10 down to 1, each and every part of you, every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber in your body will simply relax more and more. So by the time that I get to 1, if not sooner, you will feel like you've doubled this wonderful level of relaxation and this wonderful level of physical, and this wonderful level of mental relaxation will then only grow and become stronger and stronger. Because one of the nicest things about relaxation is there isn't a basement of relaxation. Just when you may feel that you've reached your basement of relaxation, you can soon discover that you can actually drift deeper and deeper. Relax. So 10, and a wonderful feeling, a wonderful wave of complete relaxation. Feel it now washing over you. Every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber in your body feeling and becoming more and more relaxed. Your mind feeling and becoming calmer and calmer. 9, drifting deeper and deeper, getting more and more relaxed. Every breath you exhale, helping and guiding you to feel and to be more and more calm, more and more relaxed. 8, and now the muscles in your body feel them from the very top of your head all the way down to the muscles and the tips of your toes. Every single muscle in your body now relaxes more and more. 7. Focus on the muscles in your body relaxing. And as the muscles in your body continue to relax more and more, your mind becomes and feels calmer and calmer. 6. And your mind and your body continue to feel more relaxed, more and more calm. 5. Drifting deeper and deeper into relaxation, feeling and becoming calmer and calmer. 4. And it truly feels good to relax physically, to relax mentally more and more. As 4 drifts into 3, you drift even deeper relaxed, calmer and calmer. 2, you're feeling good now, knowing that you're relaxing, feeling your muscles relaxing, feeling good, knowing that every breath you exhale is helping and guiding you to feel and to be more and more relaxed, more and more calm. And 1. And from this moment, on every breath you exhale, it just relaxes you more and more. Every breath you exhale helps and guides you to drift deeper and deeper, making you more and more relaxed. And in a few moments, I'm going to say the word, relax. And each and every time that I do that, each and every time that I say the word, relax, every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber in your body will simply feel and become more and more relaxed. Each and every time I say the word, relax, your mind will it will become calmer and calmer. Every time I say the word, relax, it will feel like a wonderful wave of relaxation simply washes over your entire body. Relax. And a wonderful feeling of calmness, a wonderful feeling of complete relaxation washes over you. Every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber of your body just relaxing more and more. And every time I say the word, relax, this feeling of complete relaxation, this feeling of calmness grows stronger and stronger down to the muscles in your hands. A feeling of relaxation spreads to the muscles in your fingers. And that feeling of relaxation spreads down to your chest. Feel it down throughout the muscles in your back, down through all the muscles in your stomach, down to the muscles in your hips, every part of you now enjoying this wonderful wave of relaxation as it spreads further down your body, down to your legs, to your knees, your thigh muscles, the muscles in the backs of your legs, enjoying this wonderful feeling of relaxation as it spreads further down your body, down to your ankles, your calves completely relaxed. As that feeling of relaxation continues down to your feet, toward the very tips of your toes, every muscle in your body more and more relaxed now, and feeling more and more relaxed every time I say the word relax. Relax, because it feels good. It truly feels good to relax. And you absolutely enjoy this wonderful feeling of relaxation. Every part of you completely calm. Every part of you completely relaxed. As any normal outside noises fade off into the distance, guiding you deeper and deeper into this wonderful, this pleasant, relaxing state of physical and mental relaxation. And in a few minutes, I'm going to count from 1 to 10. And every number that I count from 1 to 10 will help you to feel and to be more and more calm, more and more relaxed. Every number guiding you to feel calmer and calmer and more relaxed. Number 1, every muscle in your body, every nerve, and every fiber continuing to relax more and more. Number 2, this feeling of relaxation, this feeling of calmness doubled in strength, getting stronger and stronger for you. Number 3 times more relaxed now, more and more calm, drifting even deeper and deeper. Number 4 times more relaxed, absolutely enjoying this state of relaxation, enjoying this wonderful state of calmness, drifting deeper and deeper, relaxed. Number 7, absolutely enjoying this wonderful feeling of calmness, absolutely enjoying this wonderful state of relaxation. Number 8 times more relaxed, 8 times calmer and calmer. Number 9